The world that we are living, the IT world that we are living, is a lot of unknowns. In Dell Technologies, we follow a unique culture set. Rather than solving problems or unknowns, we try to convert these problems or unknowns to opportunities. We do celebrate these opportunities as success stories. This is where creativity begins. This is where innovation starts. This is where inventors are born. This is a reason why engineers at Dell Technologies are successful. This is why the products delivered by Dell Technologies for the betterment of humanity is looking successful. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joseph Kanjirathinkal. Everyone calls me Joe K. K is not for Kubernetes. I work as a DevOps Manager. I've been working with Dell Technologies for the past 14 years. I'm responsible for delivering the best developer experience at Dell Technologies, and I'm responsible for enabling and empowering a group of DevOps and system developers at Dell Technologies. Over to my partner in crime, James.
Yeah, so I'm James Walton. I'm a principal solution architect with Red Hat. I've been there for about 7+ years. And as you can see, I've been in the industry for like 24 something years. So I've been around a bit. But for the last 2 to 3 years, I've had the pleasure of working with Joe and his team at Dell in empowering and enabling their development teams with an OpenShift-based platform so that they can deliver those solutions and services to make their technology super useful to the customers that they're deploying in. So, Joe, why don't you talk about what we're going to be doing today?
James is a very humble person. He is way experienced than me, and he has seen a bigger world than what I have seen. All right. We are going to talk about one such opportunity that we converted to an opportunity, which is like a success story for us, DevSpaces. This is the agenda, high-level agenda of what we are going to speak today.
So just to start off, if you're not familiar with OpenShift DevSpaces, I'm just going to do a little bit of a high-level review of some of the benefits and what it does. So first off, OpenShift DevSpaces is essentially, it's a layered product, comes with OpenShift. You don't have to pay anything extra for it. So if you've got OpenShift, you can deploy this. It is a container-based workspace for your developers. It gives you a browser-based IDE that's based off VS Code by default, including the ability to deploy extensions and plugins and all that sort of fun stuff. But because it lives in OpenShift, it's a container native environment. So some of the benefits that you get out of it, from a collaboration standpoint, it's great for sharing and reproducing workspaces between developers. So they can kind of share exactly what they're using with everybody else on their team. And as I said, it's a full featured IDE, so it's not like they have to learn anything new. VS Code, JetBrains, those are a couple of the options. It also provides a lot of standardization. So you can define an entire development environment workspace as code, as a dev file YAML. And all developers, when they do this, if they use these workspaces, they're using the same tools, right? So you're standardizing things. You can also accelerate onboarding because there is no local environment setup of their workstation. You don't have to install VS Code and then all the extensions and all that kind of stuff. They can literally just launch in their browser this environment and be ready to go working in minutes. And so it also eliminates this idea of like, it worked on my machine. I don't know why you're not seeing, success here, or there's bugs here and I don't see those. That's just gone because everything is standardized. You also get a lot of security enhancements, things like the code lives on your OpenShift cluster. It never lands on the user's laptop. You don't have copies of code just living everywhere. So you can standardize and centralize that. And your operations team can control your security standards for those development environments. You can scale it to meet your team's demand because it lives on OpenShift. That cluster can scale in, scale out as necessary for the resources that you need, depending on the size of your team. And also you can save money because of the fact that you're managing resources on OpenShift, not necessarily spending a lot of money buying beefy development laptops, deploying large fleets of developer virtual machines for their additional desktop enhancements, things like that. And you can scale those workspaces down to zero when they're not being used. So you can save money on those resources. So those are some of the things that DevSpaces can provide to your organization. But Joe, tell us about the opportunity that you're trying to work with here.
Before getting to the essence of DevSpaces, I would like to brief about the problem statement and the situation, talking about how developer workflow works in a K8s adopted environment. There is a developer inner loop and there is a developer outer loop, and there is transition between these loops. In simple words, this is the developer workflow in K8s environments. The inner loop, it is an iterative cycle. Excuse me, it's an iterative cycle that developers spends most of their times doing coding, debugging, testing in the iteration steps in their inner loops. This is more focused on individual developer productivity and rapid iteration. And what covers the inner loop is their local laptops, if they are using virtual machines, some of the tools and softwares that is helping them, etc. On the other side, the outer loop encompasses more of the software development lifecycle. It covers more of the CI/CD pipelines, OpenShift clusters, Git version control systems like GitHub, GitLab, monitoring tools, etc. So when we are taking this wild challenge for developer experience, I would suggest the solution that you're drafting should at least cover these aspects that is highlighted here. And yes, DevSpaces, we found that this product has got the capabilities and has the solutions to cover these aspects. At Dell Technologies, we are currently in the early adoption phases of DevSpaces. Based on the wider feedback that we are getting from developers of multiple personas and from the observations of the DevSpaces, these are some of our observations. Look at the inner loop. DevSpace is playing a major role with rapid local testing. Like James mentioned some time back, this is working in my system but not working in my laptop. That problem is eliminated. This is also helping parallel development with a faster debugging. And if you look in the outer loop, DevSpace is helping streamlined integration, reducing deployment errors with improved collaboration. And more important, while during the transition from between the inner loop and the outer loop, DevSpace is making this handoff seamless and frictionless with a space by giving a space for immediate microservice testing. In simple words, my dear friends, if you're getting a DevSpace, it is an on-demand K8s namespace where as a developer you are getting all the necessary permissions and privileges to do instant code testing. You get a DevSpace, start code, start debug, start collaborate. You don't have to wait for anything else. There is this history of battle between operations team and developer team, which is something we don't want to speak. I'm not sure something happened with the screen. All right, there you go. On one side, it is about controls. On the other side, it is about freedom. And this battle is going forever. What we learned from our experience is DevSpace is helping you to draw a midpoint between these two parties, satisfying both the parties. To be more precise, it is a balancing act of dollars on one side, time on the other side. Administrative effectiveness on one side, providing flexibility on the other side.
Yeah, so I'm sure many of you have come into this friction environment where operations and developers both have competing interests, right? So, on the one side, as you said, operations wants control, consistency, standardization, compliance, but developers want freedom, flexibility, customization. They want their tools. So you guys have actually done a pretty good job here utilizing DevSpaces to solve this by creating some balance in here and customizing DevSpaces to your needs. So tell us about this idea of using a golden image. Obviously, golden images are great for operations. They love standardizing things down to one, solution. But how is this helping developers?
Yeah, we came up with this strategy with the golden image. After talking to developers from different personas, we collected the common requirements and created a golden reference. So any day one a developer is coming, this is your golden image. Start using your DevSpace. Now, you are given the freedom. You can compile the image to your choice. Do you have any additional components or tools or softwares that you need to, that will make you look successful? Go ahead and compile your image. No one is blocking you. Only thing is, this image, as soon as a developer, the way how we have implemented there in Dell Technologies is, as soon as a developer tries to compile a new image, a new CI/CD is getting triggered. The new compiled image is uploaded in the Artifactory repos as the latest image. It is also getting updated in a dev file registry where we are providing a parent and child dev files based on the developer personas, based on the product lines, the image and everything gets updated there. We are also working on internal marketplace. That is another strategy that we are working on, wherein we wanted to provide only Dell qualified extensions in Workspace rather than making everything available from OpenVSX.
That's great. So your golden image provides the standardization. Your developers still have the ability to add some customization layers on top, and they have a dev file that they can customize or pull from the registry that is using that image and setting up the workspace with any of the necessary extensions for their workspace. This is great. So before we get into any of the demo that we have planned, let's talk about and walk through what your addition you're going to have here, right? So we're going to talk about AI, right? So you have an AI tool that you've integrated for your developers to access and utilize as part of their workflow. So why don't you walk us through what this workflow looks like and one of the important bits that's in there?
Sure. Here I'm showing an example of how we integrated a third-party AI coding agent into DevSpaces. This is one very interesting thing. But before that, I wanted to tell that DevSpace is giving you a capability with a home directory through which you can make some things persistent. Be it any third-party agent, let it be an AI coding agent, let it be a GitLab integration, or any other third-party tool integration. You can make it all happen possible with the help of this persistent mechanism through your home directories. Talking specifically about a Gen AI coding assistant, we chose Windsurfer as our AI coding assistant. The way how it works is, as soon as a developer logs into a DevSpace, he is getting immediately a workspace to start with. There are mechanisms wherein config maps will get generated for the user ID. It will get auto-mounted in the OpenShift cluster. Soon, a new extension for Windsurfer is getting installed. As soon as the Windsurfer extension is getting installed, it pops up, it directs you to a respective Windows, respective web URL wherein you will get the token. As a first-time user, you will have to copy this token and enter into the DevSpace. Following that, be it the DevSpace getting deactivated, you stop the DevSpace. The next time you are coming and opening a DevSpace, things are all persistent. We have also set some controls like timeout values and other parameters. Be it whatever, the next time you are opening a DevSpace, this way everything is made persistent. I will run you through the demo. That way it will become more interactive for you guys.
I'll just kind of walk through just a couple of things while he gets it ready. So in Dell, the way that the developers have access to DevSpaces is through a few ways. Obviously, they can just hit it directly through a web link, which is accessible to them like literally within minutes of onboarding. Once they have their laptop and their internal credentials for SSO or whatever, they can just hit that URL, launch a DevSpace, and get coding. They also have a developer portal that they keep internally. So for every project, there's a page that has all the information, documentation about the project. And for ones that are enabled for DevSpaces, there's a link right on their portal to launch that workspace. And then the last is they do have like a GitHub or GitLab on that page. You can put a badge in there, let the user know that there is a DevSpace enabled workspace available for that project. And the nice thing is you can keep that dev file and stuff. Everything can live with the code if you need it to. So that's how they can launch it. All right, Joe.
Yep. So this is how our DevSpace is configured, and this is how DevSpace is looking like. I have a workspace here. I can see the workspace details here. You can see the events, how the workspace got generated. You can see the logs, wherein we have enabled some environmental parameters that is needed for the developers. It is all generated using a dev file, and this is the overview. I have a storage volume that is made persistent per workspace. And once I entered into a DevSpace, once it is started, this is how the portal looks like. Running out of time, I just wanted to go straight away into how that Windsurfer is integrated. We have the extension that is made available in OpenVSX for Windsurf. This is the AI agent I was talking about. You install it. As soon as you install it, it's going to give you a token. You have to enter that token in DevSpace, authenticate it. Once it is authenticated, it is giving you a terminal. Sometime back, I heard about someone talking about the GitOps model, how that is making very successful. Guys, this is the next level when you integrate DevSpaces into your environments. We can see in my DevSpace, I have a chat agent, and there are different LLM modules that is supported by my organization. I'm going with the Windsurf Premier one, the default one that is given to me. And say like an example for a DevOps engineer. Hi, Windsurf. My agent is giving me a response. I'm here at OpenShift Commons. Well, so Windsurf, no. What is OpenShift Commons? Could you please help me generate a cron job for rolling restart a deployment every 2 hours in a GitOps way using Argo CD and customization. Normally for coming up with these mechanisms, writing up the YAML manifest and codes, we know how much time we are going to spend correcting everything. On a single click, guys, Windsurf is generating you everything needed. It is even telling you the way how to run it. You got the cron job manifest here. It is telling how to do that. It is telling where to pull the image and what should be the command. You just have to look at this and modify what your namespace is and what your deployment is. And it is even telling you how to run it through Argo CD. If you are using overlay mechanisms like K customization, it is giving you the YAML files. You just have to copy it. You just have to call it through your customization. Things are looking very simple. One more example for the sake of time. Could you please generate Ansible playbooks for creating on-demand namespaces from Backstage IO portal? And we know how much work is there in defining workflows, how much time we are spending in writing the codes. With a DevSpace, it is telling you in a step-by-step way how to write the Ansible playbook, what the playbook content is, what it should be. And it is also telling how it should be integrated with Backstage. What are the endpoints that you should call out? It is giving you the full code on a single click that can be integrated in DevSpace.
Yeah, as you can see, it actually took Joe longer to type out what he wanted than it did for the AI agent to generate the code.
Exactly.
Which is kind of cool.
More time for me to type the questions and the AI agent give me the answers faster than that. Yeah. Based on our observations, these are some of the return of investments and benefits that I have seen. Accelerated onboarding for developers for day one. This we already covered about it, but like a developer is coming on day one, an instance is given, they are getting it. They can start the code, they can debug the code, they can do collaboration, they can share DevSpaces. And one of the other benefits that we talked about is the time. We cannot purchase time, how much ever dollars you have got, right, guys? We are saving a lot of developer wait times. We are saving a lot of security effort times. Imagine you have a scale of 5,000 developers wherein you are giving 5,000 VMs plus laptops. Imagine how much efforts you are going to put. Imagine how much time you are going to spend for security efforts, installing endpoint security agents, patching your systems. When it comes to DevSpaces, it is literally zero. You are saving that much time. And pretty much all the other points are self-explanatory there. This is also helping us to come up with an effective and efficient utilization with better capital forecast of CapEx and OpEx run rates. It is also helping with reduced administrative cost on security efforts that I mentioned. And pretty much all the points are self-explanatory there.
Is the open source upstream for this Tilt?
What is
Tilt.dev? What powers DevSpaces?
Oh,
Open source wise.
Yeah, so originally it was based off of like the Eclipse Che project is where it came from. And then it has since kind of evolved into replacing the default Eclipse interface with one that's VS Code based. So yeah, there is the upstream project would be, I think Eclipse Che is what it is based off.
The base is Eclipse Che. It is evolved over that.
So my question is regarding the storage for DevSpaces. I believe each DevSpace needs a persistent volume that needs to be attached to it, right?
That's right.
Could you let us know like how you architected it? Because we are running it on Amazon, right? And each EC2, so if we attach PVC, it's block storage. And if the DevSpaces pod is running on one node, I can only attach that particular node, right? If the pod is, when I restart it tomorrow, and it may land on different node, how do you address that situation?
No, we shouldn't come into that situation. That's a configuration mistake on the cluster.
So,
talking about how the PVCs are configured for DevSpaces, what we should be doing is, the best approach I would suggest is make the persistent volumes at a workspace level rather than going with a user level or making it FM level. And these are, like I mentioned, these are on-demand namespaces. In your YAML manifest for the namespaces, you had to call out what PVC, what storage class you want to use and how much is the sizes. You can enforce the limits there too.
okay, so next question regarding the AI agent integration. So we have the agent integrated, but how do you make it auto login with my user credentials?
This is where the home directory is coming into picture. In the home directory, so you as a DevSpace user, you are getting a home directory in /home/user.
Right.
You should leverage that. So for your AI agent, if you are using some other AI agent, of course, you are going to get a credential or a token mechanism, and you can make it, you can copy it in one .file extension and make it persistent there.
What if it's a single sign-on URL?
Yes. So when you, the moment you single sign on, this is a token interaction.
So does it automatically open up the browser
Yes,
window?
yes, it should automatically open the browser. And I wanted to show that now. Maybe I can show you that at a later time.
Yeah, as part of the demo, he did.
after that.
Yeah, he did have it set up as part of the demo, but I said
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
probably best not to have it flash up all the SSO credential logins as part of a recorded session.
Yeah.
All right,
And
thank you.
it is like only a one-time thing that you had to do. After that, it will be persistent.
Okay.
You know, the token is actually referring your home directory. As soon as the token is there, your CA trust is qualified, boom, you're in.
Cool. Thank you.
I have kind of like two short questions. So regarding, I know this is seems very much married to the VS Code kind of environment, but a lot of developers, they're really opinionated on the kind of tooling they bring, you know, and their productivity is directly related to the tooling that they evolve over time. I mean, have you looked at like NeoVim, Tmux? I mean, my typical workplace is like Warp, Tmux, NeoVim. I don't even touch VS Code
Yeah.
because you're trying to manage this cluster and you need to hit up K9S, for example. Can you bring these tools into this construct that you have built?
We haven't attempted that yet, but these are some feedbacks we are also hearing from our developers. We are working on some solutions for it. Now, if your question regarding the editor side, yes, VS Code is the default one, and I wanted to show it with the default one, but DevSpace is giving you a lot of other options.
Yeah.
You can go with IntelliJ editors, you can go with PyCharm, GoLysen, different editor versions are available.
Okay.
Yeah, it is up to the developer. We shouldn't be blocking the developer, give it to them, let them choose what they want. Give them the options.
Yeah, VS Code is the default, but there are a couple other options for the interface editor. But yeah, if they're using other things that are not part of that, they would not be integrated directly.
It's obvious, like it's Electron based, so you can bake anything Electron in there. Second, seeing that the last few years have been a big movement where everyone's building on Apple like M processors, which is ARM, and now you're moving towards this. Do you also now offer kind of ARM workloads on OpenShift?
Very good question. See, this is where DevSpace is becoming more and more important. ARM processor, qualifying Kubernetes clusters, OpenShift clusters on ARM processor and deploying DevSpace is another feedback that we got, which we are working on. Mm-hmm. And again, this question is a very good question, guys. Imagine, is there a way you can connect GPUs to your local laptops?
Yes.
There is no way. Is there a way you can connect ARM processors to your local laptops? Maybe Dell Alienwares are coming with some advancements. It may be possible. But again, if you look at all these requirements, DevSpace is the go-to choice. It is a Kubernetes environment. It is exactly like your production environment. You are given options. Do you want x86 processors? Do you want ARM processors? Do you want GPUs? All these are possible. But specifically to that, we haven't qualified ARM, and we are expecting that kind of requirements coming.
Okay, well, you can...
Especially with the Windows containerization.
Yeah, you can... I do work with ARM, so you can contact me if you want. Thanks.
Thank you for the demo. Quick question for you. When you did your first example on Windsurf, you asked it to set up, cron job, and Windsurf quickly spit out the YAML manifest, and I noticed that it used the Bitnami kubectl image. I wouldn't want that. I would want to make sure that, especially since you're just doing something that's kubectl, Red Hat offers the origin CLI image directly from Key, or Quay, however you pronounce it. Mm-hmm. How can I make sure that I can control the images that Windsurf is using so it's not pulling something from Docker or GitHub's container registry?
Yeah, good question. Look, AI agent is an assistant, is your friend. And this is learning every day. This is evolving every day, right? We want a specific answer. If you know the answer, then we shouldn't be asking the AI agent, right? Mm. We know the answer, but if we are not getting the answer, you are getting the base structure there. What the AI agent know, it is spitting out the non-solution for you. And it is, as DevOps engineers and developers, it is our responsibility to validate it. Like Bitnami image is what my AI agent know, and it is asking to execute kubectl with these security contexts. But as OpenShift administrators, we know, we can use OC command suite. And from a Red Hat Quay, I can download my images. You can change that. But end of the day, you are getting the full draft. This is how a cron job should be run. These are the object templates, or these are the specs. A service account should be there, a role should be there, a role binding should be there. It should be run, these are the parameters that need to be changed. This is the namespace name. You got the rest of the things. Now, once you get the outcome, I'm a heavy user of Windsurf. Once I get the outputs, it's not that I just copy paste and run my YAMLs and call it through customization. I will definitely verify it. Is it aligned with my requirements? Is it matching my requirements? And again, if you specifically ask this AI agent, the example I showed you, I'm sure it may give you, it may point it, to correct it to some level, pointing it to OC. Maybe we have to try that.
My first guess would be modifying the prompt to tell it not to use Bitnami, tell it to use the one you want. And then the other setup would be to talk with somebody like the Codium Windsurfer vendor to find out if there's a customization that you can force it to only reference certain things.
I'll be quick. My name is Ronaldo. I'm from Verizon. So when we deploy namespace for one of our tenants, they also have other helper namespaces. For example, one other namespaces to help them for egress and ingress. Can we use DevSpaces and it also creates the other namespace that allows it to be able to bring traffic in and out of that namespace?
I'm getting your question. We haven't attempted that. It is a very rare use case. I will write up this use case. We want to try this.
Okay.
We don't have a right answer for that, and it is a very, very rare use case. I'm hearing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say we could have a follow-up conversation after this, because my question to you would be, how are you implementing that process today?
Yeah.
Right? Because that might inform how you would do it.
Okay.
There is a lot of security things coming into play there.
For sure. For sure. Thank you.
All right, and one last question.
Hi, this is Anil from Swift. What happens if the dev spaces fail? What's the fallback plan? Can the developers develop their code locally?
The data is held in your storage, in your Kubernetes clusters. So you should have, what we have done is we have a failover mechanism for our Kubernetes clusters in a different location. In the backend, we have made sure our storages are replicated. And these are all deployments. The data is in your persistent storage. Make sure your storage is protected. And Kubernetes will do its job. OpenShift will do its job.
Yeah, if you're dealing with, if DevSpaces is critical path for your production, development workflow, then you would treat it like any other key production, system that you would want to have a failover and backup mechanism. And there's, people within Red Hat who have worked with customers numerous times on how do you work out that strategy of, like he said, backup clusters in a secondary data center, or, approaching it in different ways. If you have a single cluster and that's what you're fully dependent upon, then you might run into issues if that one data center goes down. So,
The only thing you should focus is the DNS cutover. I mean, the DNS names should be, that matters. You have to make sure when you fail over, the new IPs, the routes are given the same DNS entries.